Welcome back, everyone. You got Glazed Game Gestures here again. However, I'd like to title this one Glazed Game Pickups because I'd like to discuss the games of the consoles that I previously mentioned in the older videos. I didn't really go into that, and I'd like to keep everyone up to speed, and then I can move on to other games and accessories and movies and vinyl and whatever you guys want to talk about. And I figured I'd show tribute to, I got my Ninja Turtle t-shirt. I am TMNT Raphael. Anyway. Let's start out with Nintendo. Deadly Towers, an interesting kind of isometric perspective of I guess a platformer. I mean, you go up tiers and castles in this blue armored suit, and you're throwing like spears at like these little creatures, and you're going through castles and obviously towers. But really cool box art for the time. They don't make them like this anymore. It's all hand drawn. Anyway, I already showed you guys my Famicom cartridge, which was B-Wings, a vertical shooter. And now let's go to Super Nintendo. These are the games that I got when I purchased my Super Nintendo I'd say about a year ago, from a guy on OfferUp for about $100. He gave me these games as well as the NES Max controller, which I showed you guys in a previous video before. Gave me Super Star Wars, made by JVC and obviously LucasArts. Super cool game. I had as a kid The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and now I have this one, although I don't have those other two anymore. Unfortunately, I got rid of them. Gotta start collecting all over again, But a great game. Really, really cool. Difficult, but cool. Who doesn't love Super Mario World? I mean, come on. I mean, you can hear the battery save in there, and, it's just one of those iconic, awesome pieces of history that everyone loves to play. What can't be said that, who hasn't beaten this, right? Whether it be the 10 to 12 second cheat, the credits cheat, or, taking Star Road all the way around and then gotten all the exclamation points, to get all the colored blocks so you can beat it the right way or beat it the quick way, like I said, Star Road. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on. Earthworm Jim. The colors, the name, the idea, like it was the 90s. It was just perfect, like this, and like Booger Man and Vector Man, and it's super cool. A really cool concept. I mean, you can fling cows, and there's weird weapons, and you get a lot of ammo, and you're like jumping on tires, and you can fling your head, and it was a really cool 16-bit shooter for the time. A run and gun, kind of like Contra, like hardcore, or Alien Wars Contra 3. But anyway. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, the sequel to essentially Ghosts and Goblins, from the arcade as well as Nintendo, and then it was also ported on Sega Genesis. I have that on my Sega Genesis Mini. I like that game. I find that one a little more intuitive and a little easier to play than this one. This one, it's super cool. I'm glad that I have this. It's Capcom, so there's that quality there. Now this one goes under the radar a lot. Once again, you can feel the battery save. It's a little heavier. Lagoon is relatively similar to Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. It has that isometric kind of puzzling hack and slash kind of feel to it, although your sword is about this big. It's like a toothpick. The puzzles are relatively not that difficult. I picked it up at a game store probably about 3 to 6 months ago for about $10. Look at the waves. It's so cool. And then the castle that's about to be overtaken by these waves. It's an interesting game. It's an early title for the Super Nintendo library, and I feel like it's definitely overlooked and it needs to be played again and talked about, or at least a modern update on the Switch or something. Now anyway, I can go to my Sega pickups now. These are the games that were given to me when I picked up my Sega Genesis Model 1 recently for $20. The guy had these games, and I'm about to discuss them with you. And I lucked out for the most part. Yeah, I know. Alright, anyway, let me break it down for you. Super Smash TV, a title that was originally on Nintendo, and then it was also on Super Nintendo, and then they ported it to the Sega Genesis. I don't have the box. I intend to get one, eventually. I can get one on eBay, probably like $7 to $10. It's just, I haven't had the time or money at the moment. Really cool concept for this game. You're in a quadrant, essentially, this room. There's 4 different doors that open up, and A, B, and C on the Sega Genesis controller allow you to shoot different ways in different styles, whether it be burst mode or, single bullet or rapid fire. And you essentially have to beat everybody in the room, and then you move on to the next tier. Beat everybody in the room, move on to the next tier. Just keep going. It's incredibly difficult. It's fun. It reminds me of Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's per se, except Zombies Ate My Neighbors is obviously a little more open rather than just in a room. Sonic, the mascot of Sega. Who doesn't know about this, right? And I love the not for resale tag. I think it's kind of cool that, you know, it obviously came with the Genesis Model 1 in the original box. This is the original box for it too. I have the manual for it as well. It comes with it. I have it CIB. I'm stoked to have all that. Columns, similar to Tetris, also CIB. The guy gave me the sticker labels in relatively good condition. Sonic 3. This is one of my favorites of the Sonic series, as well as Sonic 3D, which I feel like also gets kind of overlooked. That many people are like, oh, Sonic 3D, whatever. But I don't have that. I'll talk about that later. But Sonic 3, you can play as Knuckles, you can play as Tails. There is the original manual, and then the sticker label's in relatively good condition. I'm happy about it. You know, hey, I got it for free, can't complain. But, I mean, there's the save state on that as well, which is really cool compared to 1 and 2. You either sit and beat it, or you die and you start over. Spinball's a really cool concept too, the pinball. I'm glad I have it, to be honest with you. I've never played it. I'm really not a big pinball fan, but I mean, you know, I'm going to have to give it a try. I admit that. And once again, CIB, I lucked out there. The guy also gave me Street Fighter 2. We all know Street Fighter, man. Come on, since the arcades, I mean, Super Nintendo, and then obviously it's been ported to many other systems nowadays. And this is the original box, the original game. I don't have the manual at the moment. I'll have to get like a reproduction one. But and it's super cool that I love how, I wish I could show you guys, but it says Capcom right there. They, you know, went the extra step and etched in here Capcom. Super cool. Like, you know, and personally, I'd rather play Street Fighter over Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's great. Don't get me wrong. Although, then again, I'm not really a big fighting game enthusiast. But if I had to choose, I just liked the flow and feel of Street Fighter more so than I did Mortal Kombat. I'm sorry. I mean, just how I feel. I will play Mortal Kombat, but I just prefer this one. Now, when I picked up my Sega Genesis Model 2 at a Goodwill, probably about a year or two ago, I got Sonic 2. Also not for resale, right? I know, super cool. Missing the manual, but hey, you know, it's all there. The sticker label's in really good condition, and it's an original box. You can tell that my Animaniacs that came with my Genesis Model 2 is also an original box because of the tape. Konami, great publisher. I haven't really given this one too much of a chance. I've usually played the Animaniacs on the Super Nintendo console. I liked that one. But I'm glad that I have this. I'm definitely going to have to give it a chance and play. And it runs just fine. Just like how Capcom did their etching. Konami has their etching here. That's how I know that it's an original box. Super cool. Now this is reproduction box. But I do have another copy of Aladdin as well. CIB. And I just like the repro box, how it looks. It's just super clean. It's much nicer. And I thought that the game that I was given when I bought the Sega Genesis Model 2 also looked cleaner. But when I bought the Model 1 from the guy, he also gave me an Aladdin. I was like, oh, cool, duplicate. So I still have that. But I like this one better, the box and the box art. It's cleaner, it's crisper. I'm also a little more attuned to the Super Nintendo Aladdin. I don't think I've ever beaten this one. I think I got stuck at the... when you're inside the big tiger's mouth and you're running away from like all the lava and all that on the lamp, or not the lamp, excuse me, the magic carpet. But I'll have to play it again for sure. Now these Sega Genesis games are my pride and joy. These are ones that I've purchased over the years, and I'm glad that I have these and they're in my collection. Rocket Knight Adventures, a really overlooked, you know, almost, I would think, even another like Sega kind of mascot game, or at least that was their attempt. But you can charge up as this opossum your attack, and you can fly around, and you have a sword. You basically shoot these like kind of like little boomerang looking things from your sword. It's another Konami title. I had to purchase the reproduction box, and I had to purchase the actual artwork that goes in the sleeve too, and I did the best I could to cut it and fit around. You know, you can see it kind of go underneath there a little bit, but I didn't want to cut anymore. You know, and as I said before, it's Konami. I mean, it's a great game. I don't have the manual. I'll have to get a reproduction one, but there's the cartridge right there in super good shape. I think I picked it up at a game store maybe 2 years ago for like $25-30, which is still, it's about it's about that price online from what I've seen. Picked up Quackshot. This is a really cool game. I really, really like this. I need to give more time to these games. I really, really do. This is an original box. I can't get it open. I'm a weakling. No, but I still even have the receipt from when I purchased it, September 10th of last year. Cool. But it is CIB. I have the manual and I have the game, and the game's in relatively good shape. It's a really cool kind of run and gun Disney shooter, which you don't really expect from too much from Disney. You expect them to be kind of like kiddie games, but this one's, you know, a little more advanced than that. And I think I paid about $25-30 for this. It's one player. It's a really cool run and gun Donald Duck game. I highly recommend it. Gargoyles. This was a cool game. I picked this up at a thrift store, I think also maybe $20-30 a couple years ago. I just recently got the reproduction box, and it's in relatively good condition. I think the top has a little bit of wear and tear on the sticker, but it still plays just as it should. It's a fun game. It's incredibly difficult. I think I've only made it to like level 3 or 4. Made by Buena Vista. They've done countless games, and you know, if you loved the show as a kid in the 90s, the game is also great. Now, this was a steal. It's a reproduction box of Cheeky Cheeky Boys. It's kind of like, it's reminiscent to me of like a run and gun, kind of like Mega Man meets like a Castlevania per se, and it's its own kind of element. It's a reproduction box, like I said. The artwork was already in the box. I lucked out there. The cartridge wasn't in the best shape, but I knew what it was as soon as I saw this. And the game store that I got it from, I don't think they knew what they had. I got it for like $7, and I've seen it retail online like anywhere between probably like 40 to 80. It just really depends. But you know, it's a really highly underrated game, and I think I've beaten a couple bosses. Once again, I think I died. It really wasn't that difficult, but I need to give more attention to it. And it's just like, look at the box art, like, and look at the name, like, what the heck is that, you know? But super, super cool game, you know? That's, I think I have more Genesis than I do Nintendo at the moment, but I also have a lot of, obviously, emulated as well. But these are games that I'm just happy to have. And even though I have games emulated, of course, if I see a good deal on a game, yeah, I'm going to get it. I forgot to mention that when I got my Super Famicom, the guy gave me essentially a giant plastic cartridge, you know, actually manufactured by a Nintendo in 2018. And I think it was like for an advertisement or something, because it used to hang up. And then when I opened it at the time, there was a Gundam game inside, and the Gundam game was entirely in kanji Japanese. I got rid of it, unfortunately, because I was like, I want to, you know, hold on to these games so I can play them. Yeah, the cover art on the game was really cool, especially if you know anime like Gundam, but, you know, I mean, I'm happy to have this too. Like, this is just, you can't do anything with it. I mean, I guess I could put games inside there, but once I get a proper game room, I'm definitely going to store it up on the wall, for sure. This thing is super cool. I'm glad that I have this thing. And as far as 8-bit to 16-bit, you're all up to date. And I'll see you guys next time, and I guess we'll go on from there. Thank you for watching, and thanks for the support.